Hey gang, welcome to Your Marriage Matters with Jim and Christie Jacobus. Our goal is to help you lay the foundation of building the marriage and life you both have always dreamed of. Welcome to Your Marriage Matters with Jim and Christie Jacobus.
Well, hey there, gang. It's Jim
and Christie
Jacobus with Your Marriage Matters, episode 119. And today we're going to answer three important questions for you. I learned a long time ago, every audience, whether it's in front of them, face-to-face, or via camera, they want to know, babe. They want to know, who are you, why are you here, and why should I care? So we're going to answer those questions today.
Exactly. And we really appreciate all the support we've been given over these years. And we did think it's a good time for everybody to be reintroduced to the Jacobuses.
Absolutely. So if you're here for the first time, you're going to get to find out who we are right off the bat. If you joined us along the way and you didn't catch one of our very first podcasts that explained who are we, why are we here, and why should you care, then you can catch up now. And if you've been here for a long time and you know us well, you're going to learn some things today I bet they probably didn't know about us, even so.
Exactly.
So again, welcome. Glad to have you here. That first question is, who are you? And obviously we're two individual people, we're a married couple, we're doing all kinds of things, but I'm going to introduce Christie because she wouldn't tell you all about herself, but I'm going to do it. This is an amazing woman I have been married to now for over 33 years. We got married in a hot air balloon on Valentine's Day, which is a perfect follow-up to me proposing to her at a University of Texas football game by hiring an airplane to fly a banner around the Cotton Bowl that said, "Christie, I love you, please marry me, Jim."
And one of the telling things of that story was, Jim told me it was going to go over, the surprise was going to be in the third quarter. I had to go to the bathroom, so when the plane actually flew over the Cotton Bowl at the Texas OU football game, I was in line for the bathroom.
Yeah, and that was kind of foretelling all kinds of things that had happened in our life together. But that said, it did fly around for an entire quarter. Christie saw it. She came back to the seats, said yes, and here we are, 33 years later.
Exactly.
So, but this gal here has got tons and tons of background. I don't think a lot of people know because she's never going to brag about herself. But Christie was a nurse with the Memorial Hermann system for 35 plus years. She was a nurse with Memorial Hermann when I met her 34 years ago, and recently retired, has done all kinds of things in the hospital. She's a great resource to friends and family because she started off in orthopedics. She was SICU for a while, nurse recruiting, and then over to education where she taught all different kinds of things, has more certifications at the end of her name than you can get on a business card. And that's just half the story. Not long ago, Christie decided to go back and get a master's degree in education so she could become a marriage counselor, and carries about half of a marriage counseling practice part-time whenever she was as a nurse, and now working more on that full-time and getting ready to do some online counseling.
Online platforms. Really exciting.
Yeah, you excited about that?
I am.
Awesome.
It's those of you who know me know technology is not my strong suit, and this will be almost exclusively online.
Yeah.
It'll be either online chats or online texting. So I think it's the new way that counseling is going, but it does take out of there some of the things you get from face to face. But our experience doing this, I think, will be a tremendous asset for me.
Yeah. So anyway, all I'm here trying to say is this girl's got all kinds of experience and background, but more than anything, she cares about you. She cares about your family. She cares about your marriage. And she's one of the sweetest, kindest, most patient, loving people I've ever met. Has tons and tons of qualities that I don't have. So that's Christie. And that's not even half the story, but that's part of who she is and kind of why I thought you wanted to know about her today. So
thanks, son. And now I'll tell you a little bit of insight into my partner in crime.
I'd tell you myself, but it doesn't look good that way.
One of the things that I think people get from Jim right away, he's very talented at being a speaker. He spent over 30 years as a professional speaker, trained and traveled all over the world, speaking for large organizations such as AkzoNobel, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Southwest Airlines. Just had tremendous input and insight for his customers, and he has translated that now into helping with marriage.
Right.
What you should know about him is he's talented that way. He's extremely competitive, and that is good for us because he keeps us motivated and keeps us on track. He is passionate about everything he takes on. He is a consummate learner. He's always trying to learn new things, and like I said, not only is he talented as a gifted speaker, but also he has the drive and determination to have everything that he touches work out for himself. And when he doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, or when it doesn't work out, he learns from it. And I think that's one of the best gifts you could give somebody, is to always learn and always grow.
So that's a little bit about the two of us, but actually from Team Jacobus standpoint, probably the most interesting thing is we are actually videoing this from our Grand Design Momentum 399 toy hauler, which we call the Joy Hauler, as a matter of fact. And as Christie retired just a couple of months ago, we decided to sell everything that we own and live in this RV full-time, traveling all over the country, but also so that we can spend more time with your mom and dad and with our kids and grandkids. So we are shooting this from right outside of Bar Harbor, Maine, where we're going to be for another couple of weeks and everything. Went yesterday and saw some amazing stuff. So fun times.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. These are dreams come true, and I always have to remind myself of that this has been just such a wonderful adventure and experience. And it's thanks to Jim's insight and to his ability to dream with me. So.
Well, we both dream big. And then we actually put some action to it, which is a subject of a podcast series that we did here not too long ago called Idea. So, babe, I'm going to ask you the question, why are you here? Why are you doing this? What's your purpose in all of this?
Well, I think the reason why we got into doing this is so that we could help marriages and help families to thrive. We started doing marriage retreats and marriage work over a dozen years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why we did that is because one of the things about you that I should have told people is you had over 15 years of experience in doing divorce care. And you know, for anybody who's struggling in a marriage or struggling with a relationship, and especially those who are going through a divorce, how difficult that time can be for everybody involved with it, not just the couple themselves, but their children, their families, and everything too. So we did this to help prevent some of the problems that we saw either in my counseling office or that you saw in divorce care. But the other reason, on a more positive note, is that there's so much opportunity in these relationships for you to have a healthy and vibrant marriage, for you to have the best life you possibly can. It doesn't mean that every day is going to be roses and you won't have challenges and you won't have difficulties. But if we could do some preventative things, if we could give people some insight into how to strengthen their marriage and their relationships, then we felt like that was our why.
Absolutely.
So what do you think?
Well, I totally agree with all of that. I think part of me looks at it, and it gets important for you guys to know our story, is that I was divorced twice before I met Christie. And we got married. Everything went the way it's supposed to in the first couple of years. And then I wouldn't say we had any serious problems, but it wasn't going the way we wanted it to. And I just knew that there was more to marriage. And I began to understand that God had a better plan for marriage than Jim or Christie had.
Exactly.
And so as we began to pursue God's design for marriage and wanting to both become the best version of ourselves, I saw that this relationship could be far more than I ever dreamed of. And again, depending upon what your background is, if you grew up in a home with a great mom and dad and they had a great marriage, you saw great role modeling. I did not see that. I think you did. You had a great background with your mom and dad, married now for almost
over 60 years.
Over 60 years. Your grandparents are married for
over 70 years.
So Christie came from this background with all of this history and everything. And just because it was lengthy was one thing, but I saw that commitment and all of that. Well, long story short, I began to get an idea that marriage could be a lot more than I thought it could be. I had never seen any great role modeling. And as we began to dig into what God had planned for marriage, I started getting a vision for what it could be like. And I was actually talking to our son Jason this morning, telling him that, you know, a lot of people think about living in a 430 square foot home, that you might get tired of each other. But I would say this, and I think you would agree, is that over the last couple of months we've been doing this, our relationships got even closer.
Right.
I mean, it's gotten even better. So we believe that whatever relationship you have there, whether you're married, pre-married, you've been married for a year or 20 years, that this was designed to be something phenomenal. It wasn't designed to be just something you do every day and hope to gosh you make it through it and all that. I think it was designed, even in the bad times, to have somebody that you could lean on. And so we want to give that to you as best we can. And that's our hope. That's our belief. That's our fundamental reason for doing this, is we believe marriage is made to be incredible. Two imperfect people coming together and learning to work as Team Jacobus to have a great relationship. So why should you care? Well, again, I would say from my standpoint, I don't know what kind of relationship you have, but I think you should care because it impacts your physical health, it impacts your emotional health, it impacts the health of your children if you have any, it impacts your neighborhood, your family. Teaching divorce care for 15 years, babe, I saw that what two people thought was an amicable relationship breakup was no big deal, was not going to hurt the kids, and I would tell them, baloney. It hurts everybody. It has a ripple effect out from your relationship that is devastating at best. And so I think you should care for all of those reasons, and because, like I said, I think this was made to be something where I can be myself fully next to one person under God's view, that I can be transparent and know that you love me regardless. Now, you may not be happy with me every day, but you do love me regardless, and I know you're going to, and I don't think there's any other relationship where that takes place. So I think that's why you should care. But what do you think they should care about this?
Well, you just pointed out how people can improve their marriage so they don't have to go through the difficulty of divorce.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, our lives as we see them are going by so fast. Time is just flying by. And if you don't make the most of your life now, before you know it, you'll look back and it'll all be over with. And so I would challenge people, and I would encourage people, the why for you, the audience out there, is so you can have tips and tricks and skills and attitudes so you can make your marriage the best that it possibly can be. It is just amazing to think we've been married over 33 years, because sometimes when I think about it, it doesn't feel like it's been that long
yesterday
at all.
we started,
Yes. But when you look at the history, one of the things that is the benefit of being married for so long is you've been with a person, you know them, you become their voice when they can't speak, you become their helper and everything, and that is a privilege that a lot of people don't have. Jim said earlier, we're more in close quarters at a time when people are being subject to that because of legislation. We're doing it by choice, and so we've learned a lot from that, and we've learned about ourselves and each other. And the other why is marriage gives you an opportunity not just to learn about another person, but you get to learn about yourself.
Absolutely.
So, some of the things that we've learned about ourselves, you kind of want to go, oh no, such a lesson from that. But the reason why we want our audiences out there to be involved with this and participate in this, as Jim said, we want people to have a healthy and vibrant marriage. That's our tagline. That's been one of the things that we have said from the very start. That's been our mission and our vision for this, is to help people have resources around them to know that yes, times will have challenges from time to time. There will be struggles, but when you get in those struggles, what are some ways that you can get through them?
Yeah, well, so anyway, I couldn't agree more. I totally agree with all that. And yes, something about marriage is you do get to learn about another person, but you really get to learn about yourself if you're open to that. So bottom line is, who are we? Jim and Christie, better known as Team Jacobus, we believe. Two imperfect people, desiring to be the best version of ourselves, and desiring for Team Jacobus to be the best version of itself in this relationship that we call marriage. Why are we here? Because we care. We care about you. We care about your marriage. We care about your family. We care about your kids. We care because we believe that this was meant to be something amazing.
Right. And sometimes when I think of people who could benefit from having a stronger relationship, it's people I do care about. Yeah. It's people who are friends or family members, and I want them to have the very best. Yeah. And so if we can impart on anybody some tips to help them along, that would be why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, we learn when you learn too. And so why should you care? I can think of a dozen reasons, but I think the biggest reason is this relationship was designed to be something special. And it only becomes special when we choose to become the best version of ourselves and make it like that. And we want you to have everything that you dreamed of when you walked down the aisle and said, I do, and a whole lot more than that. And babe, I would tell you that after 33 years, my idea of what marriage was supposed to be like versus what it is now, this is like 100 times better than ever. You know, and again, I love doing this with you. I love doing the videos with you and everything. And I love this life with you, babe. You're the very best.
And we have some exciting news coming up.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
We do. One of the things that we have wanted to do for many, many months is to do more of an educational offering, a webinar. Yep. So do you want to tell them a little bit about
absolutely.
that?
We're going to do a webinar, and we don't have the exact date for it yet. We'll have it pretty quick, but you can go ahead and sign up for it. yourmarriagematters.com/webinar1. You can simply go there and sign up for it. Whether you attend live or not, you will still get a recording of it, so don't worry about if you can't make the date and time that we put together. We will send you a recording of it. We'll say this, if they're there in person when we're doing the webinar, they're going to get some bonuses that people that just get the recording don't get, so we encourage you to be there live. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we've been wanting to do that. There'll be a lot more of those coming in the future. So thanks for remembering that. That was one of the many reasons why I love you.
And 2020 has been a year of multiple challenges and multiple opportunities.
Yes.
And so we want to encourage you to use this time, regardless of what your situation is, to lean in to your partner, to really make this an opportunity for you to say, wow, that was a tough year, or that was a tough season, but here's what we're going to do to muster through this. I know that even with us going through this, it's been a time of great transition, but from this we've learned a great deal, and we are just so appreciative to everybody out there, and we thank you for any opportunities or any comments that you have for us to grow and get better. We appreciate that. And to you, my partner in crime, thank you for always making my life such an adventure.
You're the best. Thanks, gang. Appreciate it. Take care. Catch you next week.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Your Marriage Matters with the Jacobuses. And if you enjoyed the podcast, we encourage you to share it with your friends. We are growing like crazy because you are passing it on. So thank you. That's it for today. We'll see you next week on Your Marriage Matters. Have a great conversation this week.